Hi there, and welcome to Kids in the Kitchen. This is brought to you by the South Texas Literacy Coalition. It's part of our Health Literacy Initiative, and we're trying to share lots of recipes with you today that relate to, and all these months, all the summer months, that relate to kids in the kitchen with their parents and that kind of thing. So, we're going to share lots of different things. I left my cookbook and another table over there, but the recipe that we have for today is called Cozy Cottage Chicken Tenders, and this is from the Disney Princess Cookbook. Now, if you remember the stories of the princesses, and I told you that I had a fun time sort of researching the fact that there's 15 Disney princesses, from Sleeping Beauty to whoever. And so all the latest ones, Moana and Belle and Beauty and the Beast and all of that. And so this one in particular is from the Sleeping Beauty kind of story where Snow White cooked for the seven dwarfs. You remember that story? And so these are called Cozy Cottage Chicken Tenders. And so we're going to start off with our recipe. It's a very easy recipe, something that you can do, prepare a little bit ahead of time and then have everything ready. It uses cracker crumbs, and you can use any kind of cracker crumbs that you have. Saltine crackers, Sweet Thins, whatever. I use a variety of things. You can also use breadcrumbs, but cracker crumbs makes a very fine crust on there. And what we're trying to do with our Health Literacy Initiative is to get you to eat more healthy, okay? Now, we're going to eliminate the F word. I don't mean the bad F word. I mean fried, F-R-I-E-D, okay? So instead of fried chicken, we're going to have baked chicken or roasted chicken. Instead of French fries, we're going to have baked fries. And so think about that. And nothing against all of our great partners out there that are our fast food people. Every once in a while, it's okay to do that. But here's what's happening. We're eating not in moderation. That's one of the problems. We're eating way too much in quantity. And then we're eating things that are high calorie, high carbohydrate. And so it's okay to do that if you just have limited amounts. But if you have like a complete amount and then you go serve yourself again and oh, this is so good and it tastes delicious and whatever, and pretty soon you're going to start noticing that your clothes don't fit, okay? And so you say, I wonder why my clothes don't fit. I was doing so great. And, well, we know. And so every now and then it's okay to have some fried things. I love fried shrimp myself, but I don't have it all the time. I don't have it every day. And so every now and then as a treat, I do that. So we're going to try to find alternative ways to fix foods. And this is one of them that we're going to do. So we're going to start off with some cracker crumbs. And I took my NutriBullet, okay, and I put some Wheat Thins in there because that's all I had. And I just pulverized them, okay? And so you can do that. You can mix all the crackers that you have. If you have a little bit of this and a little bit of that, you can even do baked chips and that kind of thing, okay? So we're going to take a gallon size Ziploc bag, and we're going to put, this is about a cup. We're going to put our cracker crumbs in here. And I did this last night, so that's why I left it in the little container. Then we're going to add a third of a cup of grated Parmesan cheese. And I told you, there's nothing like fresh Parmesan cheese. So good. I'm going to measure that out. And the cup I have, somehow or other, I lost my third cup, and this is 2/3 cup, so I'm going to use half. So we'll put that right in there with the breadcrumbs. Then we're going to use half a teaspoon of garlic powder. Now, this is not garlic salt, it's garlic powder. So we're going to do half a teaspoon. And I always leave half of this little paper here because it helps me to level off. And you can add more to taste if you're a garlicky person, but this gives it a really good flavor. Then we're going to use half a teaspoon of paprika. Paprika is ground red pepper, not necessarily very spicy, but it gives a really good flavor. And then we're going to add a fourth of a teaspoon of pepper. And you can add more if you like, if you're a pepper person. And then we're going to add a fourth of a teaspoon of salt. And I like to use the kosher salt. I'm going to put a little bit more just because. Okay, so then we seal this up. Make sure you get all the air out. Seal it up and mix it up. And this is fun to do, okay? Make sure that it all gets all mixed up. Make sure that it's sealed, okay? Because you're going to be going all around the place. You can see the paprika in there mixing up. Okay, so this has got cheese, breadcrumbs, salt and pepper, paprika, and garlic powder. Now, when we bake something and when we fry something, this is going to be baked, so it's just good for you. We need to have a solution, a batter that you dip in for your chicken. And let me get my chicken. I forgot that. But that's okay because you want to leave it in the refrigerator as long as you can. Okay. And what I did was I washed this already. I used frozen chicken tenders. Okay. And the chicken tenders were very big. And so I took them and I cut them in half. Okay. So our chicken tenders are there. We're going to start off with 2 eggs in our bowl. And then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of water. And I just measured this way because it's hard to go measure this and bring it back from the sink. Okay. It's better just to do this. And then we're going to take our whisk. Remember, this is called a whisk. And somebody asked me, do you ever wear an apron when you're cooking? And yes, I do, as I'm wearing one today. But the reason I hadn't been is because I told you that I hurt my shoulder. And I just couldn't get my hand back there to tie a knot in the apron. So, it was a little rough. Okay, so then we're going to add a tablespoon of honey. And I think I told you way back when that if you take a little bit of spray and spray your spoon, it makes the honey not stick and, get out there. This is just regular honey, a tablespoon. Gives it an awesome flavor. And I'm going to show you how it comes right off of there. Okay? Right off. Might need a little help, but you don't have to be like scraping and scraping and scraping. Okay. So we've got our honey, water, and egg. And we're going to give this a good whisk. And you can add whatever kind of flavor. If you prefer to do, hi, Lauda, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm good.
Good. So we're whisking this up. It's got honey, the 2 eggs, and 2 tablespoons of water. Okay? Now, we're going to take our chicken, and we have rinsed it and patted it dry. And I took, now, some of these were this big, okay? So I took them and cut them in half, lengthwise, okay? And why do we pat them dry? Because we're going to put them in this mixture right here and get some of this out of the way and let them soak. Going to do about 3 at a time. And the recipe makes about, you would use 8 chicken tenders. I use the frozen kind, as I said. And you put 2 or 3 at a time and make sure they're completely covered. And then we're going to open our bag. Let me move this water. Murphy's Law says that if it's going to spill, or if it could spill, it will spill. Okay. Oh, I had some big pieces of cheese in here. How did that happen? Or maybe it's crackers that didn't get completely. Okay. So I'm going to take some tongs, and we're going to put these 3 here. And this is a recipe that the whole family could do. And everybody could do their own. Okay. Now, you take the bag, take the air out, seal it up again. Really good. And you shake it up. If you had some salsa music, you could, do a little dance and salsa and get some exercise. So just make sure that they're completely covered. And then we're going to take them out. And it's easy if you can fold the bag down a little bit. And we're going to put them, and I've got a cookie sheet here with parchment paper, okay? And we're going to put them here. Now, we've set our oven at 400 degrees. And I have to tell you, always test recipes out because you never know. This says to cook them about 10 minutes on one side. Reach in there, turn them over once, and then do another 10 minutes on the other side. I actually went like 7 and 7 minutes, okay? So we're gonna do this again. And just make sure that all of the chicken is covered with your crumbs, seasoned crumbs. Now you can buy seasoned crumbs. Panko sells them, and different brands sell them, and you can already have those done. But again, if money is an issue and you want to save a little, and we got to save a little, okay? We pay everybody. We pay the light bill, we pay rent or mortgage, we pay our car insurance, we pay whatever. Why not pay yourself? Okay. Ida Garza, here's $25 this month just for you. Put it in a savings account. Okay. So we got to pay ourselves. So when we pay ourselves, it doesn't have to be just in money. It can be in saving money. Okay. And Laura and I have been trying to give you some ideas to be able to do that. Okay. You can use this all the way done, and then when you're done, you don't have to wash anything. You just throw that out, okay? Now, we're going to put this in the oven for 400 degrees, at 400 degrees, for about, for me, it's about 7 minutes. So, I'm sorry, 12 minutes. So we're going to get those started. Now, I just took some out of the oven, okay? So we're going to put these over here and show you how they're served. Now, this is a good serving amount. And my son said, "Can you eat those with your hands?" I said, yes, because they're like fried. So what I've done is I've added a little salad, okay? And I took some Dijon mustard and mixed some honey with it for a dipping sauce. But if you like barbecue sauce, or you like honey mustard, or you like something else, then you can do that. So here's our little chicken tenders, cozy cottage chicken tenders, ready to eat.
What a great savings for the family, Ida. I sure like that.
And they're lower in calories. Sorry, delicious. because you bake them, okay? But you can see that they look fried, okay? And they're tasty because the coating on the outside has all the different spices, and you can add all kinds of different things. You can make it more Oriental, or you can make it more Italian, or whatever. So, cozy cottage chicken tenders. I bet that Snow White made these for her 7 dwarfs, okay? They love them. They probably asked for more, and she said, whoa, you can only have 3, okay? That's a serving. And so they're rich in protein, not so high in carbohydrates, and if you add a salad with it, again, think healthy, okay? And remember, we're trying to get rid of that F word, and it's not the ugly F word, it's Fried, okay? And it's okay to have fried food every now and then, but don't overdo it. Don't overdo it. Treat yourself once in a while to do that, okay? So hope you like the recipe. I'm gonna wait for the rest of these to come out, and I'm gonna turn it over to Lauda. Lauda McDermott, welcome. She is on our board, and she lives in Laguna Vista out by the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful South Padre Island area and the bay. And I love to go visit with her and just sit there in the patio with my feet up in the air and just kind of, talk. So
Yes.
now that I've kind of imaged myself over there, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thanks, Dr. Ida. It's great to be here. And today I've got a really special recipe. They're just mini yogurt bites. And I took this from the Pioneer Woman and I adapted it into some things that I had here at home. And the Pioneer Woman cookbook is a great source. And I always love what she makes. Always yummy and nutritious. And every now and then it's a little more fattening. But today I've got something really low calorie. And it takes 2 ingredients. I'm using low-fat milk, and it asks for a 1/2 cup to 1 cup of milk and 2 cups of yogurt. And I use a strawberry flavor because that's what I had at home. So I combined this yesterday, and I made half of the recipe. And here in this bowl, I have the other half of the recipe. And all it took was the 2 cups of yogurt and the 1/2 to 1 cup of milk. And I whisked it nicely to where it was smooth. And actually, these are going to taste just like frozen yogurt. So those were the first 2 ingredients. And what I've done is I've added a little something different, but it asks for you to go ahead and place your paper cupcake liners into your mini tins. And if you don't have mini tins, you can always use the larger cupcake tins. But this recipe in particular makes 24 of the small ones. And what I've done different on her recipe is I have a whole batch here of crumbled graham cracker crumbs, and you can either make your own or buy them already made. It just depends, whatever you prefer. You could also use vanilla wafers if you don't have that. The vanilla wafer, you could either crumble it, or if you use the larger ones, the actual vanilla wafer fits right into the larger tin, so it works out perfect. But this is something that the kids can do because it's very few ingredients. But you're going to place 1 teaspoon of the graham cracker crumbs on the bottom.
What about Oreo cookies?
Oh, that's a great idea.
So I could mash them up and use that as a crust. Awesome.
Sure. So this is something the kids could do for you because they can't mess this up. So once you've got filled, then you're going to just add your mixture. What I love about this, it's very low in calories. I know that the 2 cups of yogurt with a 1 cup of milk, the whole total for all of this was about 620 calories for 24. So I estimated it's about 25 calories a piece. I think that's an awesome frozen yogurt dessert.
Yeah.
So here's my beginning. And then I have a small ice cream scoop here. I'm not going to fill it to the top, but it allows me to just to have that control. So I'm going to fill these up 3/4 full.
And that helps you to make sure they're all about the same portion size.
Sure. It gives you some control without a mess. But if you're using smaller kids, they might not be able to.
Question, Maria Elena Wyatt. Hi, everybody. She said, could you use granola cereal at the bottom? Absolutely.
You know what? Being in the kitchen, you can use whatever you want. This is you.
Yeah.
Be creative. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Get your own, and I know many people have their own homemade granola cereal recipe, and I know I have one that I'd like to share with you one of these weeks. But go ahead and use whatever you'd like on the bottom. Make it.
Madeleine Madrigal and Ron Ramirez. Hey, Ron. And Maria Solis and Rosario Garza and Maria Elena Valle. And we have Janice Soto Navarrete. Good afternoon. How are you doing? And so glad y'all are here. And so, you know, the easy things to do. Having our little cozy cottage tenders with a salad, you know, is a good meal. And then you have dessert.
So once you fill these 3/4 full, like I'm showing you here, then you're going to stick them in the freezer for 2 to 3 hours. And I have these that have just come out of the freezer. The recipe says to let them stay at room temperature for about 5 minutes, which mine have done that. And before serving, you can do whatever you'd like, but I like to make them my own. And I love this type of Cool Whip because it's very low in calories, low in sugar, and it sure adds a pretty look to the top of these. And I bet your kids would have a ball doing this to the top of these little yogurt bites. After that, you look at whatever fruit you may have in your refrigerator. I always have strawberries, blueberries, and sometimes raspberries. But then you're going to go ahead and take your fruit and just place it on top. You could do a couple of berries. You could do kiwi. You could do whatever you may have at home. And I like to use a little bit of mint leaves. If you want to teach your kids how to fix something, just make it look extra special. I have mint growing in my backyard just like Dr. Ida does. Yeah. And you wash your leaves and dry them up, and then you could just place a little one on there just to give it that look.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. So some people love to eat the mint leaves. Other people just use them for decoration. And other people just place them in their water, give the water a flavor and not have to add any sugar. So right here,
if you eat a mint leaf, you won't have to chew gum for your breath. Okay, it freshens your breath right there. So, and it's designed to clean the palate. You know, that's important too. Look at that! Isn't that gorgeous? Wow! And so easy to do. So easy.
I want to eat them while they're still really cold. Again, they're probably under 30 calories a piece if you make the mini size. Now, while we're on this, and we've been talking about encouraging reading and encouraging education for your kids, I want to encourage you to have your kids try to grow their own herbs. I have these growing, and I use them in my water, and I use them as decorations in my salad or fruit salad. But recently, I had my grandkids here, and I went ahead and had them cut the herbs that I had in the backyard and place them into a container so that they could watch the roots grow at the bottom of this. Once the roots start growing, I think this would be a really good educational opportunity, and it's something that they can relate to in the classroom when the teachers start talking about rooting and having a strong root, etc. So we've done that with mint, we've done it with rosemary, and basil's also another one that grows really well. Yeah. So besides being able to use it in the kitchen, you can use it in as a science project for your kids.
Absolutely. Well, and the other thing is that you can share that you have to wait till the roots are extended as they're growing, and then you put them in a pot with soil that gives them a different kind of food. And it's very much like us humans, okay? We're growing, we're developing. Now, if you let the water run dry, which means there's no stimulation, there's no education, there's no engagement, there's no water for the plant and the roots, then it's gonna, not do well. You might be able to bring it back, but once that plant is planted in a pot, then it starts flourishing, just like we are. And that's what education is for us, okay? That's what this whole health literacy is. Health literacy is part of family and consumer sciences. So it's a science, okay? How do we get things to mix together like this? How do we get things to, taste so good? And so it's all part of an educational thing. And I have to tell you that right now we're trying to work with various educational entities to see how we can include our Kids in the Kitchen series as a little break for teachers and use it more of a science project for them, and things that they could do at home, and things that could be done in the classroom with very little equipment, or from home like we're doing here virtually. So we're going to be working on that. I do want to tell you that the South Texas Literacy Coalition is a nonprofit organization. We're based out of Edinburgh. We serve the Deep South Texas area. And so right now, Jonathan, our associate director, is receiving some books that we were given in kind by the Molina Foundation. I want to give a big shout out to the Molina Foundation because they had a number of different pallets of books that are being delivered to us, and we really appreciate that because it helps our budget tremendously. Eventually, when we get done with all the books that they've donated, it'll be close to $400,000 worth of books, and they're all going to go out all over the communities. And so that's what we do, and we try to promote as much as we can in financial literacy, health literacy, reading and writing skills, which that's what it takes to read a recipe. You know, you got to read it, you got to measure. That's math. This is reading. If you had to write it over or say, you know what, I'm not going to put paprika in, I'm going to put cinnamon in. So you scratch that out and write cinnamon in. So whatever, there's so much of this. And so we know that reading and writing skills are basic to life success. And so
And science, Dr. Ida, here's science in the kitchen. So
that's right. Absolutely. So, you know, we want y'all to realize that, and to, you know, we share a little bit about the nutritional aspect of this, and the calories and the cost. And so it's all about living. And think about how much we don't know. Just like every other thing, technology, science, food, infectious diseases, we're learning, you know, from this. Okay, that's my clue to turn my chicken over and give it another 12 minutes. I better do that right now because I don't want it to get too brown on one side. So reset that.
now I want to add to what Dr. Ida just said. All these books that we are giving away and that we are sharing throughout South Texas, from Brownsville all the way up to Laredo, they are all made possible by the donations of individuals or organizations. If you have a club or organization that wants to do something for your specific community, give us a call, because we are available, whether it's a Rotary, a Lions Club, a teachers organization. We would love to be a partner with you and help you insert the community by buying books for your community. But we do need your support. So I just want to give a plug in for that, because
absolutely. And you know, normally we've given out about an average of 60,000 books every year all over South Texas. That's almost $800,000 retail value of books that parents don't have to pay for. These are brand new books. And don't forget that there's little free libraries and community book nooks all over the place too. We try to keep those going. If there's a school organization out there, a community organization that wants to adopt one of those little free libraries, let us know so that we'll, you know, give you credit for that. And you can just keep the little free library full of books and have it available. And if you're interested in setting one up, let us know as well, because we can make arrangements to make that happen. And so glad that you're here with us. Glad that you were part of our recipes today, our Cozy Cottage chicken tenders. And you know, I'll bet these beat anybody's chicken tenders at any time. And then we had a great dessert today that you can have. Super easy to make and so great looking and so delicious. You know, I told you, what you see helps you, you know, develop the idea of, I'm going to try that. And again, vegetables and fruits, they're what needs to happen in your diet. Salads, you know, very light eating this time. That's what we're all about, and not eating as much, okay? Everything in moderation. Okay, so tune into our weekly Facebook Live programming all summer long. We have read-alongs, we have Kids in the Kitchen, health literacy, and on the 14th, I believe, the Lawyers for Literacy group, which is, we have a partnership with the Hidalgo County Young Lawyers Association. They're going to be doing a little read-along called Know Your Rights. And so that's history, government, civics education, okay? So we're a little bit a part of it all, okay? And so we want to bring you that, and we want to thank the Hidalgo County Young Lawyers Association. I also want to give a shout out to the Texas Bar Foundation, because the Texas Bar Foundation helped us with a small grant to buy books for the Lawyers for Literacy read-alongs and the activities that they're doing. So they'll be on July the 14th. I'm not sure what time. Could be noon, could be another time. I'm going to see if Valeria can tell us what time that is. But check our Facebook page, and it's all on there. So enjoy. Have a great weekend. Wash your hands a gazillion times. Wear a mask when you're outside and when you're anywhere. And stay at least 6 feet away from the next person. Okay, this is what we have to do to protect ourselves and to protect other people, to give that respect to other people. We don't want to be able to get anybody infected. We're in a dire situation. I understand that our hospitals are at capacity now, and so we need to be very, very careful, and each one of us needs to do our part. You know what that is? That's health literacy too. So have a great weekend. Be safe. And the Lawyers for Literacy is on the 12th of, at 12 noon on July the 14th, just like we are coming. And the reason we do this is that you're probably eating lunch or whatever. And so, we want you to enjoy it with us, okay? Have a great time. Laura, thank you again.
Thank you. Enjoyed it.
We'll see you next Friday.
Yes, I'm going to go make those chicken bites and have myself a little.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
Awesome.
Great.